Hi guys, it's Gecko, and tonight, I'm going to be filming. Oops, my phone's on charge. It is probably not the best to film, but I'm filming my review for Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. My cat's staring at me. Ow. First thing I want to say about this book is to reiterate what everyone who's read it said about this book. It's brilliant. It's such a great book. Such a really good book. So, the thing about this book is it's not told like a conventional book. It's an interview format, like that. Now, I don't think anything on there would spoil anything. Either way, it's told in an interview style. It's about this 70s rock band called Daisy Jones and the Six. A fictional rock band, but by the end of it, you feel like it's a real band. Now, what I really love about this book is it says on the front cover, everyone was there, everyone remembers it differently. And the book starts with an author's note. I'm not going to read out the entire author's note, but I'm going to I'm going to read out the last two paragraphs, and it says, "This book serves as the first and only time members of the band have commented on their history together. However, it should also be noted on matters both big and small, sometimes accounts of the same event differ. The truth often lies unclaimed in the middle." Now, that is incredible that she's managed to create a story that feels so real that people contradict what the other person says, and it doesn't feel wrong. It just feels like it happened 40 years ago. People forget. And I believe this book won Best Historical Fiction at the Goodreads Book Awards last year. Goodreads Choice Awards, or whatever it's called. For me, as a fan of 60s rock music, 60s and 70s music, the idea that this can be considered historical worries me, because this is set in my mum's lifetime, so this is like history, but it's not like beyond. Usually this historical fiction I read sort of takes place in the Victorian era, so it's a little bit unnerving to think that that's history, or even about if there was a book about a 90s band, it would be considered historical fiction. I was born in the 90s, so that's terrifying to me personally. Now, one thing about this book is that it's extremely, extremely quotable. There are things in this book that just... My favourite is at the end, and I won't go into spoilers just yet, but just know that there are so many quotes from this book that I would put everywhere, and it's just amazing. Now, one thing before I go into spoilers that I'm going to mention is that it's now, casting has been announced for several of the characters in this for the Amazon miniseries, which I'm really excited for. They're going to make Reese Witherspoon is producing it, and wow. She blurbed this, and she says, "I fell head over heels for Daisy and devoured this in a day." It's the top one. And honestly, same. It didn't take me a day to read this, it took me a couple of days, because the interview style kind of was like, oh, and then it clicked, like, it's a play. Like, in my head I had to read it as a play. Doing a lot of theatre, you read a lot of scripts, so once I got in my head that this was a play, to read it like a play, I could read it a lot better. And also because it was an emotionally taxing read. I cried at this book. I got angry at the book with some of the characters and the things they were doing. It was incredibly frustrating at some points. But really, it was a great book. And for me, the experience was made very great as I physically read this for the first time, and then I went on to listen to the audiobook, which is phenomenal with a full cast. And the author picked the cast for the audiobook, and never gets to happen. So this audiobook was perfect. The book was perfect. Wow. And it was my second best book of the year last year. So, 2019. Which was last year at the time of filming this, but anyway. So this book means so much to me. Not just as the characters mean so much to me, like Billy, Daisy and Camilla in my heart forever. I love them all. It's such a powerful love triangle. But I couldn't say which side I wanted to win, because amazing, just amazing. So when I physically read this book, I listened to this album on repeat. This is Rumours by Fleetwood Mac. This album came out in 1977, and it's quite possibly one of my favourite albums of all time. As I'm filming on my phone and I don't edit my videos, I can't put like a little thing to say this is the album cover or like that, because I can't do that. But I do have the CD. So I was like, if I'm going to talk about this book, I need to talk about this album, because although this album is not in the book, Taylor Jenkins Reid said that she based her characters and did a lot of, well, she was really interested in Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham's relationship, which is, this is the breakup album essentially. They kept going. They've released a couple of albums after this, but this was essentially the entire band was splitting up their prospective relationship, their respective relationships. That's what I was looking for. And they were on drugs. There was alcohol abuse, and there was so much, which really ties in really well with this, because this is equal parts sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It's a really good book though. So. And this is an adult historical fiction. It's not YA, it's adult. Just before you, if you're not down with like explicit drug use and things like that, probably not the book for you. But yes, because of the stuff that was happening in this album, listening to it while reading this book really, changed the way I was feeling about the book, because I genuinely love this album. All 11 tracks are phenomenal. So I thought it would be remiss of me, whatever, to talk about this book and not include this album, which is amazing, and you should definitely listen to this album. So yes. Anyway, so now I guess I should talk spoilers about this. I really, really like the way it dealt with women within the music industry in the 60s and the 70s, and how it wasn't a great place for people, and people were being manipulated and taken advantage of and things like that. And I really like how quickly Simone and Daisy become friends, and how Simone was there constantly through the book. She's a disco star. Her daughter is now in the canon, in the timeline of this book. She is now, an amazing singer, because obviously disco died. And it was revived again in the 90s very briefly. So that was and she ended up living with Simone, and I really love that. Hi Loki. when she moved in, Simone said, "You're gonna have to go to school," and she did. She graduated high school, and she put her diploma in a book she found. And my favourite thing about Daisy is that she was incredibly well read, and that she found this box of books on the side of the road that nobody wanted. So she took them and read them and devoured them, and it's just historical biographies, but she just wanted something to read because she couldn't sleep, and I relate to that a bit. Not that I'd pick up historical biographies, but I've got enough books to read. And I really like the way Camila and Billy got together, and I really like the way that they got back together after he got the record contract. You are one noisy cat. And he said, "Would you marry me if I got a record contract?" And she said, "Do you have a record contract?" And then they, get engaged, and it's really cute. And I genuinely love that about it. I think that's a pure start to a relationship that, absolutely incredible. What kind of upset me though was when Billy and Graham were performing in the band the night he met Camila, and their dad didn't even recognise his own sons. Like, that was like, how can you not? Like, that was kind of really sad. But they did very well without him, so he's lost at the end of the day. And then they were recording the album. Camila tells him she's pregnant, and they get married. Yeah, so their self-titled debut was respectable entrance into the rock scene. And then she announces that she's pregnant, so they get married in the garden. And here's one of the discrepancies. Camila came down in a white t-shirt and a pair of jeans, according to Billy, but Karen says she had on a yellow crochet top. She looks so pretty. And then Billy starts cheating on Camila. And then Camila turns up 5 months pregnant. And she walks in on him. And she says, "Who the fuck do you think you are cheating on me? You think there's a woman alive who's better than what you have?" And she made him shower. And she says, "If you think I'm going to let you screw up our life, you've lost your mind." And she just leaves. And I think that's... And she gives him a letter, says, "You have until November 30th, and then you're going to be a good man for the rest of your life. You got it." Baby was due December 1st. There was she says at some point, "I wasn't going to let him at his lowest dictate what our life was going to be like." And I thought that was a real intense thing to think. She, but yeah, I'm kind of flicking through it, waiting for things to happen. She gave birth and Billy wasn't there, so Billy goes to rehab. Yeah. What else is there? I think you have to have faith in people before they earn it. Otherwise, it's not faith, right? She's killing me. She really is killing me. So fish out right. So they've got the album. They're not 100% that there's going to be a single on it. Daisy sings the words wrong. Yep. Yes, she changes the words to Honeycomb, which is the lyrics of the book. Lyrics at the back of the book. Oh yeah, because Honeycomb's not on that album, is it? Honeycomb's on a different album, which is really sad because I would love to see the lyrics of Honeycomb. I think Honeycomb is a beautiful, beautiful song. The Numbers tour, so they're going on tour with Daisy now. Billy and Daisy hate each other. Yeah. The part is how Warren is completely out of the loop with everything and he thinks he's right. Oh yeah, that's one thing I really liked about Daisy. She performs barefoot. I love it. I hate wearing shoes, so I kind of was like, I relate to Daisy a lot more than I think I should. Camilla said to Billy, I really like that Camilla was like, you need Daisy Jones. Like she needs to be in this band. That's how she joins the band. And then they start writing Aurora, which is the album at the back of the book. It's a very beautifully written album. I loved that Daisy was like, I'm not singing another song about your wife. What I'm going to do when this book comes out in paperback, or when I get a copy of it in paperback, I'm going to highlight all my favourite lines. But this video is way too long, and I'm not even halfway through, so no, and this is, okay. Yes, and this is another, this is another thing about this book that I loved. is when Camila decides it's time for Daisy to leave because she's not good for Billy. She's not good for herself either. She says, just know I'm rooting for you. Like, oh, Camila, why can't you be real? She's like the most supportive wife ever. Then the band breaks up. But while that end scene is happening, you find out who the author of the book is. Which is why it's always advisable to read this book twice. Read it once, not knowing, and then read it again with that knowledge. Completely changes your perspective of things, because Billy Dunn didn't meet his daughter Julia until she was 60 days old. Was it 90 days? 60, 90 days old, I think. It's been a while since I read it, but she'd been alive a while before he met her because he was in rehab. She's the author of this book. So, yeah, it's a pretty intense thing. And then, yeah. Daisy Jones and the Six have never played together, never been seen together since their show at the Chicago Stadium, which was 12th of July 1979. It's been 40 years. And yeah. But also I'm thankful to you for asking these questions to give me something to do. This is Billy. I hope this sheds some light on all of it for you, sweetheart. I really do. About your mom and me and the band. Sometimes I'm surprised people still care. I'm surprised they still play us on the radio. Sometimes I listen. The other day they were playing Turn It Off on the classic rock station. I sat in the car in the driveway and listened. We were pretty good. Daisy, we were great. We were really great. And it ends with this email. Because Camila knows she's dying. Hi girls, I need your help. After I'm gone, give your dad some time. And then, please tell him to call Daisy Jones. Her number is in my daybook in the second drawer of my nightstand. Tell your father I said at the very least the two of them and me a song. Love, Mom. After everything, she knows that they'll be happy together, and she's still... This book. So yeah, this book. Check out the audiobook, check out this book, check out Fleetwood Mac, check out everything. When the show comes out, watch it. I'm hoping it's going to be phenomenal. I'm so excited. I love this book. I love this album. And I'm going to go probably reread this now, quite frankly, because I've missed it. And then when it comes out in paperback and I've gone through and like highlighted all my hobbits, or I might do it with this one because why not? I don't have a highlighter though. Need a highlighter to do the highlighting. Yeah. Once I've done that, yeah, I'll do another review, which will be more about quotes and stuff. Or not. I don't know, maybe I'll do an updated review of my updated thoughts They might change. They might be more than this book is phenomenal and you should read it. This is another Believe the Hype. Hopefully, if you've watched this far, you've read the book. If you haven't, I've just spoiled a bunch of things for you, but I'll put a spoiler warning in the title, so like you know that there's spoilers. But yeah, phenomenal book, really, really good. Yeah, just I can't really say anything that anyone else hasn't already said. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You're really camouflaged against the back. The sofa? Yes, you are. Yeah. I'm going to put you in my title. So, thank you for watching. And have a lovely day, I guess. Bye.